We get asked a lot, and even a lot of people that are within the Goddess's Lair, is who we are and what we do. And it comes back to, I can't even remember who made the quote, but that one where some of the most important things in life can't be seen or heard. They must be felt with the heart. So you guys understand that now. We tried to put together a few things just to put out there who we are. Because we're looking, and we're teaching. So the Goddess's Lair, we're healing each other and the world through the divine feminine, which has been missing. For centuries, that energy, that divine energy of the mother, has been pushed down and cloistered and made smaller and controlled and manipulated. And how has that worked? So, you know what? It's not even women. This has got nothing to do with women's rights, because that kind of went sideways. This has nothing to do with control, with domination, with anything. This has to do with women stepping into their own power, into who they are, into that mama bear, into that warrior, into that lover, into that healer, into all of those powerful roles that our lives and our world has been missing. Over the past few centuries, it's been very male-dominated. And you know what? The men will be the first to stand up. Many of them are waking up. And they're saying, you know what we're missing? We're missing that mama bear. Not women that, you know, yes, we hold our home fronts, we change our communities, we change our families, we change each other. Women have been gathering in circles forever. Forever. But when the power shifted and the male energy took over the world without the female in balance, things got out of control. And our mother, the divine female energy that we all count on, Mother Earth, is now suffering. So, the Goddess's Lair, this is a safe place of awakening, enlightenment, empowerment, and networking for goddesses. We are grateful for all our blessings and those of others. We celebrate our successes, our courage, and creativity. We spread love, acceptance, abundance, light, and joy. We speak our truth, but always with compassion. We take total responsibility for ourselves and allow others to do the same. We respect everyone's diversity and individuality. We honor our intuition, our hearts, and feminine energy, and we know that through helping others, we all prosper. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of spirit. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of the universe that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Marianne Williamson. This is where many women seem to be. So many roles. So many amazing things that they do. They can balance the school and the work and the workload, and they're the martyrs. But they feel like they're in a cage. They feel like they're confined by their feminine energy. A lot of them feel like victims. Many have been victimized. They're not shining in their power. And if you want to change your daughters and your sons and your community and your family, the best way to do it is to step out of your cage. So the Goddess's Lair, we stand by this one. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we use to create them. Right?
Yes.
Most of what we are taught, when you look at from family, from church, from school, from everything, is to conform, to be smaller, to get along, to go with the group, to go with everything, and to, you know, work 9 to 5, to do this and that, and to fit into society. And is that working for anyone?
No.
Do you think there's anyone normal out there that doesn't feel like they have a problem? Like something's missing, like something's working. So we really need to change how we think and perceive and see things. So who are you? Who are you? As women, we take on so many roles. What do politicians say that we are? Politics. To be controlled, to be manipulated. Look into the screen. Believe what we say. What corporations say we are? Sheep. What religion says we are? The suffering masses that must suffer in order to get somewhere better. What Western culture says we are? We're just sitting in boxes producing. What most of us think that we are. After all, you spend your whole day doing everything, you run away to your social activities. What we really are. What are you really? It's time to wake up. Why? It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. So everything that you have been taught to get along, to go along, to make yourself small, to be nice, how is that working?
Not for me.
So what can we change? The world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who watch them without doing anything. And this is mental conditioning as well. We all have these pivotal moments in our life that change us. When you finally go in, when you haven't spoken your truth or you haven't stepped up, and it jars you. And mine was when I was like about 20 years old, and I watched two people arguing and screaming with a little 3-year-old, dragging him across the parking lot. This kid was screaming, he was wailing, and these people were yelling at each other and yanking him, and he was bawling. And I was young, and I felt stupid, and I felt like I had no right. And there was 50 other people standing around watching it. Watching this little boy be abused like you wouldn't believe. And nobody stepped up. And I looked around and went, there's adults. There's 50-year-olds and 60-year-olds. There's people all over. And nobody stepped up. And I kept waiting, when is somebody going to step up and do something? Who's going to stop this? And I sat there horrified, dying. And I hadn't heard the term. Somebody. Who is that somebody? Somebody. Right? If not you, who? So, in the heart, there are no questions. In the head, there are no answers. The intuitive mind is a sacred gift. The rational mind is a faithful servant. We've created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. Whatever you call that gift. Love, God, light, universe, source. Whatever you call it. What should be running our world and our lives and your actions? We're all busy, not we, but most people are all busy guarding what they're supposed to be. Keeping up to the Joneses, fitting into their roles, going to work, need the house, need the car, need the everything. Lining up for the comforting lies. Very few people are willing to hear the unpleasant truth. The unpleasant truths? Yeah, there's a few of them. And it comes back down to, if not you, who? Who's responsible to change this world? Who are you really? See, the people don't know their true power. They don't know. If they knew their true power. And how many does it take? How many does it take? One. One person to be in their heart, to have enough conviction to say, follow me. And everything can topple. So, who could you be? The only thing holding any of us back from anything is the thought that something is holding you back. It was all implanted. It's the only thing that stops any of us from anything is our own thoughts. You are beautiful and perfect and powerful beyond measure. And all of us always remember, you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, smarter than you think, and twice as beautiful as you ever imagined. And if anybody ever tells you something different, they're lying. And they're doing it to control you. Because they're afraid you're going to step off and they're going to tumble. If anybody tells you anything other than this, that you are not a divine creature of source, love, the universe, they're lying. Remember that. You are a spiritual being having a human experience, not a human having a spiritual one. You don't have a soul. You are a soul, a divine piece of God. You just have a body. And that body can be really limited. We call it the laughable human condition. So how does one become a butterfly? You must want to fly so much that you're willing to give up being a caterpillar. And the goddess's lair was formed, and these women came together because they come from abuse and so many stories of being small and death and mourning and all of the what we perceive as bad lessons in our life that later on we end up being grateful because they open us up to who we truly are. They wake us up. We grow wisdom through them. So we have this amazing group of women that got together and through divine circumstances realized, what if you didn't have to suffer? What if you didn't have to go through the grief? What if you didn't have to go through all that other stuff? What if all it took was for a woman to have a desire to become a butterfly? And then we could create a sacred space of truth where nobody had to die, where nobody had to be raped, where nobody had to be a martyr, where nobody had to suffer like that, where nobody had to have that feeling for years, for 30, 40, 50 years, that they were not enough, or to look in the mirror and not know who they are. What if you could create that space where all the illusions melt away and we're free to blossom into who we truly are? So, we strongly believe that those who have the privilege to know have the duty to act. And the integrity and the ethics of the council and the women have come together, and men that have come together in our council, is unbelievable. Because we've lived through it. And we spent our lives feeling we weren't good enough, strong enough, didn't know enough, didn't have enough education, didn't have enough money, didn't know. And now we know. Because finally getting into that sacred place of truth, when you can look somebody in the eyes, in the soul, and see that divinity, once you see, there's nothing that can bring someone to their knees in gratitude, it's just profound when you can look into someone's soul. So, we comfort the disturbed and disturb the comfortable. And this is Christina's motto. But what we found, that there's a lot of people that think they're damaged out there. They're really not. Their hearts aren't broken. Their hearts are so strong, they're so beautiful. It's their mind that's broken. It's their belief system that's broken. So we comfort the disturbed. And there's a lot of people that are going along their merry way, wreaking havoc as they go. They need to be disturbed. But then lighthouses don't go running all over an island looking for boats to save. They just stand there shining. I used to run all over the place looking for boats to save. So here we've created with everyone's strengths, the retreat system, the website, our forums, our blogs, monthly meetings, our Facebook page, the links. We have a calendar of events, training sessions, blog talk, and sisterhood. Because ain't nobody messing with my sister, right? That has been strength like, oh my, unbelievable. So we're here at the Goddess Heart. What an amazing weekend. What an inspiration to see all of you women join together and open and share and blossom and celebrate and dress up and realize who you truly are and to stand in your power and allow other women to do their own. I didn't even used to like women, honestly. But you are a glorious bunch. Now the reason we have the Goddess Heart is because the first thing women need to understand is who they are. If you don't know who you are, you don't have anything. But once you do, and you can stand in that strength, and you can start facing all of the illusions and the perceived, injuries, if you can leave here now as yourself, take a look around, do an inventory of people in your life and when you're walking around. The greatest thing that anybody could ever be in their life is themselves. The greatest and the bravest thing you will ever become is your full self. And lots of people don't ever get there. My dad always said, you are so lucky if you live your whole life and you have 2 or 3 or 4 true friends. You are blessed. We are so blessed here. So, so blessed. So we made you come to the Goddess Heart, and we never opened the registration for the Goddess Mind. Once you are in your heart and you know who you are, the next thing that's going to happen, or the thing that's going to stop you up, is your mind. Because you've been programmed, hardwired, and you're human. And as women, especially, we have all these emotions which can serve you or destroy you. Who is the servant and who is the master? This is a brain cell, and this is the universe. And you learn about energy and about how your thoughts and your emotions, how fast they change things, right? So what's the only thing that can mess you up now? Yourself, your mind. Your mind. So the level 2, we go into all the things that hold us back, that internal terrorist. The first thing that we do is, it's the level where we welcome in the male energy. So it is it's men and women. And sometimes I get women going, well, why don't the men have to get in their heart? They should have like a heart thing for them. Because they don't need to. Honestly, that's our job. We have taken away and made sociopaths even of men, or made them weak by feeling that they have to be something different than they're not, because we're injured. And our men that are growing up today aren't the ones that injured us. We're injuring them by not allowing them to step into their full power. So women come to the Goddess Heart because when we are healed and we walk in our power, it allows them to walk in theirs. So we do a lot of explaining, and in a really fun way, how different the male brain and the female brain are, how different the energies are. It's phenomenal. When those things are balanced, wow. And then we go into why don't we see things like the girl said today? Before I come here, and I'm like, that seems a little messed up, and now I'm like, oh my God, and you can see it for what it is. Because you are so limited by your blueprinting. Cognitive dissonance and the addictive behavior and how your brain works, and that internal terrorist that tells you you can't and this and this and that. And all of that programming that makes people try and protect who they are, who they think they are. And protect the systems that created them. So the reason why we open up, not until you, because right now you're in your heart. In the level 2, all the things that would stop you. And like the story I told about the 2 mothers. One that ran out when the furnace exploded, and the other one that run through the fire to save all the children. Our brains are wired for fight, flight, or freeze. Has everyone had that?
Yes.
When things happen, when a child is pinned under a car, what does a mother do? They can move a car. But for so many things in our life, if you don't understand how your brain works, you don't understand your terrorists, you don't understand cognitive dissonance and that negative ego, and something happens to you or there's someone you need to protect and you're still injured, what happens? So, in the level 2, we very specifically, in a loving, wonderful, controlled environment, test you. We will challenge you. We will challenge your programming. We will challenge your beliefs. We will do the exact thing to you that would typically have you run, fight, or freeze. To teach you that you can come through, to step back into the heart and be able to push through that. And give you the tools to understand your mind and be able to kick that internal terrorist out. So the level 2 is very heavy. Not everyone here is ready to go. Today you'll know though, because you're in your heart. And if you're not ready to go and be challenged and face the friction, that's awesome. I hope we see you next year at the heart. If you are ready to take control and to quit self-sabotaging your life and to push yourself through and be willing to face someone that you know loves you and have them challenge you and push your buttons and push through it and learn what the systems truly are, learn what the education system really is, learn what the medical system is truly doing, learn what the government system is truly doing, to actually learn all these things, the legal system, to learn the truth. Because see, here we believe there is no fear in knowledge. There is no fear in the shadow self if you understand it. And if you are not injured by it. And it's a way safer place to learn these things. See, this year, these young ladies, I know they're ready. Last year, we're like, oh, that's a lot of heavy stuff, man. I don't think we want to be giving that to kids. That's probably the hugest disservice we could have done. I watch their Facebook posts. I know what they see, I know what they hear. And every day, they're challenged by a system that is trying to corrupt, control them. They know something's wrong with it, but they don't know enough to be able to rise above it. So the level 2 is not about battling, it's not about all the nasty things in the world. All those things are only happening to motivate us enough to change and grow and stand up. And the level 2 takes you to that place where you know you can rise above, where you're not being controlled and pushed down from a system. You are not fighting a system. You realize that it is your divine right and purpose to rise above that system and create something new. And then the goddess healer. Oh, amongst we got some amazing healers, but boy, is there some strong... There's a lot of people out there running around with, and not to pick on anyone, not that these aren't wonderful, but you know, certified angel healer and certified this, and there's a lot of circles around there, you know, standing around singing kumbaya. We're magic, we're the creator. So in the level 3 in the goddess healer, we're not so much learning techniques, because those techniques were something that an amazing person was blessed that the Creator downloaded in them and they chose to share. But each of us can tap into that ourselves. So in the level 3, the first thing that we learn is we aren't perfect. There is no illness or injury or pain other than it's there to serve us and for us to see. That's one of the hardest things people have to come to. Is that even all the healing that needs to be done is in human form. And spiritually and energetically, you're already perfect. And all the rest of it is just fucking made up.
Hooray!
It's, it's made up to serve us and have us grow, but it's made up. In the level 3, we go back to the old ways. The only ways that ever really worked. See, we've been taught, even with our food, calories and fat and vitamins and all these things, right? And the food guide. What is everything?
Energy.
Energy. Plants feel. They are energy too. So we go back to the old ways of making everything sacred, and we eat whole live foods, all prepared by our hands. And as the shaman and the medicine women did, we talk to the plants and we learn how to ask them what people need. And we learn to ask the plants if we can pick them. And we learn the respect and the energy value of that food. And that medicine is more powerful than anything that's ever been created by science. So that part's very sacred. We learn to tap into source and to feel people's energy fields and to intuitively see the colors and feel the vibrations and the waves and the everything, and to be able to stand in that power and realize that other people are perfect and healed as well. So you're not running around fixing people. The program, all of it is very much teaching the shamanic ways. It's the old ways. We thought we were making this shit up. No. This is the old ways. This is the ways before power started trying to corrupt and dominate. And it's the real ways. And if you can connect to the earth and you can connect to each other and you can connect to color and understand your power and tap into universal energy, you are a healer. So for more from the smart guy. Reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one.
Yes.
There are only 2 ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. The distinction between the past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion. There is no time. See, in that 3rd level, in the healer and the creator, you are the alchemist, you are the creator, you are part of God. God is working through you. There is no time. This is where miracles happen. Absolute miracles, where you can bend time and space and create something new. There is no logical way to the discovery of these elemental laws. There is only the way of intuition, which is helped by a feeling for the order lying behind the appearance. So we formed a goddess council. And honestly, we are not listed anywhere as a non-profit or as a non-anything. We are an entity amongst ourselves because as a group we got together and decided that the integrity and the strength and the backing of spirit that we had and the passion that we all had, and when we got together, that there was no way that we were turning that over to a corrupt system. So you know what? We're not registered as a non-profit. We're not going to give you receipts. We're not going to do anything. Do you want to look at our books? Sure, if you can figure them out.
Not very much.
Because we were put here by God, by Source, to be servants of the land. That everything is in our domain, and we are the ones making our rules. So if we're creating a new world, one that's built on heart, and being in the right mind, and being a healer, then we create our own rules, right? All the members here are volunteer. Everything that has been built up until now has been volunteer hours from a woman that has spent so many years not feeling good enough and been hurt so bad by all that stuff that they don't want other people to have to feel that way too. That's the hours that have gone in here. We represent you, all of you. We are leaders, leading leaders, healers, healing healers, teachers learning and growing together. You've noticed every facilitator also participated full out. We don't do it any other way. There's not a level that you get to. If you think you get to a level where you're a guru, you're in trouble. We promote those that give. We do business amongst ourselves. We use products that we use. Teachers have to be learners. We teach, say, what people need to hear to empower themselves, not what they want or what we want them to believe or buy. Were you made a little uncomfortably responsible for yourself this weekend? Yeah. We're not going to give you the answers, and we tell you all the time, don't believe a word we say. It's our truth, might not be your truth. But we also believe with all the diversity and all the different, there's a reason for your truth. There's a reason for what resonates in you. And even if it's not ours, we will empower you to do whatever that is that you're here to do. So, not that this is really well done anyway, but as a Goddess Council, we sat down and made a rough budget as to what we were going to do. So any money that comes in, the cost of events are about 55%. Sometimes. Sometimes. Administration, we keep really low, like under 10%. Marketing 10%. Training 15%. Because our facilitators have, oh my God, we need to keep growing. We are playing in some fields, wow, you can't even imagine. Wow. Like when you can see that things aren't solid, like we're playing in the field. And we need to keep growing en masse to help other women be able to come up underneath of us. So we try and keep us growing, to keep the lid going higher for everyone else. Scholarships 10%. There are so many women out there that a weekend like this would totally change their life. Forever. Totally change their life. And we've been working on becoming more sustainable, and we've had some amazing gifts that have allowed some people, some women that really wanted to be here whether they could afford it or not. We also work with a lot of different groups. We have a lot of women within the groups that work with victim services, that work with domestic violence, that work with women from the native reserves, that, you know, all of those different places where these women are just in that spot where someone's wiped them out. But if they could learn to shine from that spot instead of going through all the strife. We believe in the tribe. Each individual has its own, his or her own unique gifts and path. Diversity is strength. See, out there in the world, we tend to hang out with people that are just like us, because it's comfortable. And we heard a couple times this weekend, the one that challenges you is the one that is freeing you. Anyone patting you on your back and going, it's okay. And the diversity here, it doesn't matter if you're like totally different. The diversity of being able to open up and see the gifts that is just phenomenal. We believe in not marketing to people's weaknesses, but attracting them with our strengths and their strengths. It's a little tough marketing when you're a healer and you're doing that, because most people are looking for the quick fix. We might not be looking for most people though. It only takes maybe 2% of people who really wake up and stand in their power to change the world. 1%. Because the energy of the heart, that 5,000 times magnitude, the impact of that is amazing. Look back at Jesus and Buddha and how those people and how just their energy changed the world. Universal laws really do work. But you have to understand them. How many of us grew up hearing all these things, well, if you give, you'll receive, and found it just wasn't working. You just weren't told the rules. You just weren't told the rules. And here we live them and feel them. By healing ourselves, we can heal the world. Ourselves are the only ones that we can heal. But as We change. As I change, everything changes and unfolds around me. You've heard a lot of stories about that. Everyone has the inherent right to freedom, knowledge, and the pursuit of their passions. Not just the right. We believe that it's a duty to wake up, to take charge, and to be who we were meant to be, the stewards of this world. It's time, and it's so powerful. Embracing cultural and religious diversity. So many things have been done in this world fighting over who was right. And Katrina said, you can be right or you can be happy. You can be right or you can be loved. You can be right or you can change the world. And you can learn about all of the different amazing things that all the different diverse people and beliefs have. And you know what? When you break it down and you learn enough, they're all the same. It's the same energy. And we are all the same. So, I pledge allegiance to the universe. And whoever's out there, and all the life which it supports, one cosmos in our care, irreplaceable, with sustenance and respect. How fast would the world change if 1% of people believe this and stood by it? Pretty fast. The woman who follows the crowd will usually go no further than the crowd. The woman who walks alone is likely to find herself in places no one has ever been before. Another one from Albert Einstein. But the strong, independent women who walk together can go anywhere, create a path, blaze a trail, and heal the world. The world is crying out for the divine feminine to step up. Our men need us. So lessons in womanhood. You are only helpless while your nail polish is wet. Even then, you could pull a trigger if you had to. Spread your wings. It's time. Universal forces are aligning. It's time not just as women for us to step up, but step up with our men, with our sons, with our brothers, with even the men that have challenged us. To step up into our rightful places, to understand what this world truly is, the illusions that we have now, to learn what it is to create something new, and to stand together and create it. It's time. And we're here to support and to mentor women, to bring them up to do the same. This is a mentorship program. I'm not doing this maybe even next year. Christina's not doing this next year. Because the women in this room are the ones that need to step up and lead the next women coming up. That's why every year, the second year people come up and start facilitating. Because we need to lead and grow and change. And those that are blessed to know, if they're called to, need to teach. So everyone can keep growing. So you know, the women that started this, some of them aren't here. They've already poured their hearts and their souls and their knowledge that cost them tens of thousands of dollars and their whole lifetime to accumulate. And they will pour that into you, no matter how new you may be. They will pour that into you, because this is our legacy. This is feeling like we're paying back, like we're making a difference, like we're giving and growing. So if you feel that call, step up. Allow us to pour our knowledge into you. But if we do, you have a responsibility to change others' lives. It's called Pay It Forward. So from today, you know who you are. Will you lose that? Yes. Every once in a while. But it's your responsibility to do what it takes. To take the 5-minute rule, to use the protections, to call a goddess sister, to do whatever it takes to keep your light shining. Because 1,000 candles can be lit from one, and it never harms the original, right? So thank you. We are going to open up the registration for the level 2 today. And it is open for men and women and the girls that are here. It's the last weekend in June. So we're opening up registration today. It will only be opened up to people that are already in their hearts. And there will be definitely a protocol for the men coming in, not so that they have to feel in love, right? Just so that they respect our space. And for those of you that this was wonderful and you're not ready to go, we will love you. We will be here. Please do what's in your heart.